Hi, very good afternoon to you. It's Dean from maverickstar Observatory. Guys, I want to bring something very interesting to your attention. There is something going on, and it doesn't seem to be, being covered for some reason by mainstream media. If you just wait a few moments, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of all this, but I just want to bring this to your attention. Rob Wardell dies from cardiac arrest 2 days after winning the Scottish mountain bike title, aged 37. Now, he's died obviously from a cardiac arrest. Those that know what a cardiac arrest is when your heart goes into flutter instead of the regular beating. And obviously he's passed away as a result of that. Now, we're going to get to, what causes cardiac arrest with regards to, the magnetic reversals that take place on our planet, as well as causing cancer as well. But think about this. This guy was an athlete, 37 years old, and he's died in his sleep. Condolences go out to his, his family. What a shock that must be. But the point is that, what I'm about to show you doesn't just cover, people in their 60s or 70s or 80s. It doesn't even cover people in their teens or 20s or 30s or 40s. It covers an age group across the range. Now, there is something that is taking place. It has been noticed, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, I just want to show you something, right? Because we know from the studies that we've done here with regards to the causes of magnetic fields when they collapse, they allow more cosmic radiation in. That cosmic radiation can affect, it's known now to affect, the cardiac arrhythmias of all biodiversities, not just human beings. Which is interesting because the data I'm about to show you, covers just human beings. But it covers human beings in the UK, human beings in the United States, Canada. If you do the research, I'm just going to show you, just to save time, what's going on in the UK and across all the regions in the UK. This anomaly is obviously taking place. And what I'm talking about is the excessive deaths across all age ranges. And they're not related to COVID. So there's something going on else that we are yet to find out. These people that are studying the data from all around the world, because this isn't just happening in the UK, it's happening all around the world. They're trying to figure it out, why all of a sudden there is excess deaths across all ranges. And I bet you a bottom dollar that if we go looking into other species, we're going to find the same thing. So there is something very large which is causing, at the moment, an excess death rate in all global countries. And like I say, I bet you if we do some digging, we'll find that it's not just human related. This is something that's affecting probably all the biodiversity across all the ranges. So it's something big. I'm not saying that it is cosmic radiation, but we know, and it's been proven, that cosmic rays cause cancer and they also cause cardiac arrhythmias. Remember, there's nothing any government on this world can do to protect the major populations from cosmic rays, and we know they're on the increase, and I will prove it right now to you. Now, I've showed you this many times and I've pointed out what you need to be focusing on, and what we can see is those three lines. If we go from the left to the right, that's solar cycle 22, 23 and then 24. But it's what happens in solar cycle which proves that cosmic rays are on the increase despite our sun being in solar maximum. And the reason why I've put those red rings around the cosmic rays is because you can see in solar cycle 22 and 23 it doesn't push above the baseline until it gets to the end of solar cycle 23, but in 24 there isn't enough power output by our sun to push away those cosmic rays. So we know that the cosmic rays are definitely on a considerate increase, and our sun doesn't even have the power to push away that cosmic radiation, and that's why we're detecting it. And that's why, we are experiencing now these climatic weather changes, because, cosmic rays also cause cloud seeding in the upper atmosphere. It gives a perfect condensation platform for water vapour to form. And when you get more water vapour in a jet stream, it becomes wide, and we start to see those super jet streams that we're looking at when we go over live to Norsk, or maybe at the end of the video I'll just show you. But this is what's causing not just now climatic changes. I believe it could be also affecting the biodiversity on our planet. So I want to show you now the data from our government in the UK, and I want you to do a little bit of research in your own country, because it would be very time consuming if I was to go into Canada, America, a lot of European countries. I guarantee you what you're going to find is exactly the same as about what I'm about to show you. Is there is obviously an increased excess of deaths at this point in time, and they haven't figured it out yet. Why? Or at least they're not saying why. Now I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying I'm right, but I just find it very coincidental that we have at this period of time more cosmic rays in our upper atmosphere coming through, and at the same time we have an increase in death rates, and a lot of them caused through cardiac arrest. That can't just be a coincidence, or can it? I'll leave it out there for you to decide, but I'll show you the data anyhow. So here we are looking at the chart. Obviously you can see where this chart's come from. Office for Health Improvement and Disparities. So you can see it's the excess mortality in England region. Date range week ending 27th of the 3rd 2022, the 19th of the 8th 2022, so pretty recent data. It's the bottom chart that was pointed out to me, and it's been pointed out to me by a doctor actually that has obviously looked into this globally, and that what they're doing is pretty much scratching their heads because they don't know what's causing this. But I want to zoom in on this chart to show you where the area of interest is on it. If you can just bear with me while I do that. I've had to enlarge it so we can get on target with the area that we want to focus on. And I'll just highlight it as well for us. So nearly had it. Okay, so we're looking at the end of the chart, and I'll zoom back out afterwards. I just want to show you the area of concern over the time period, which will be that region there. And what we see is a purple line. Then we see the grey lines over the purple line, which is the average, which is obviously indicating that this is above average deaths. And then we've got the yellow blocks there on the chart, which indicate deaths by COVID. What you can clearly see is that the grey lines are well above the average line, and this is a trend that's been noticed not just in the UK, in England, but all over the world. So I believe there is something going on. It could mean that what we're looking at is possibly, I'm going to say that because I can't be 100%, and nobody is at the moment. All I'm saying is it's raising a lot of interest, this above death rate or mortality in a lot of countries, because it all stems from really the same period of time. If I just quickly go through the, I can't on this one. I was going to go through, but because I've took a still shot of it so I could enlarge it, but I could have went through the different regions, but they all show the same time period of the excess death rate in that region of the UK. This is what this doctor has found taking place in all the countries around the world. For some reason, there is a high, above average death rate during the same period of time. It's puzzling them. It's got me all curious as to what could be causing it. And obviously we know it's not COVID related, or at least it hasn't been registered as a COVID death, so we know it's not caused by that at least. So I thought I'd bring that to your attention. We are in a period of low solar output which means the heliosphere shrinks, which means more cosmic radiation comes from outside our solar system in. And because we have also a weakened magnetosphere, that is coming straight through our primary protective shield, and it's got to have an effect. And what we know already is that two of the main effects that affects biology or humans or the biodiversity across all the ranges of life on our planet is that one is it can be affecting the cardiac arrhythmsis. Like I say, I find it very strange when you see an athlete 37 years of age going into a cardiac arrest, when we know that this guy's a super fit person. But is another thing as well. This doctor also mentioned that athletes, there was more than one that had it occur. So these are pretty much the fittest people on our planet that are dropping down dead because of cardiac arrhythmsis. And we already see that the average Joe on this chart, all around the UK, all around Europe, America, Canada, are also coming to the same fate. So I think it was well worth putting that information out there to you guys. Something to bear in mind. So I'll leave it there, guys. I want to thank you going out to everyone that's been supporting our observatory. And we've recently set up Michael's magnetometer in Colombia, and we'll be getting some data come from that very shortly, just test data. I expect that's just what we're going to get for now. As I said, run it for a short period of time, send the data over so we know that nothing's affecting the actual magnetometer in the position it's been put in. And then we're off and running. We are in a region there which we've been trying to get into for a long time, in the South Atlantic anomaly, which is expanding, breaking apart over South Africa right now and increasing in size. This, I presume, is a region on our planet which has more inbound cosmic radiation because of its low magnetic intensity in that region. So, very shortly we'll get also a muon detector out, because Michael also says he would take on a muon detector, and we can measure the muon radiation in that region as well. And I think we're going to get some really interesting data coming out of there, because if the muon counts are extremely high, and that is exactly what I expect in a region of low intensity, then we know that we could look at the statistics for Colombia with regards to their mortality rate and see whether they are peaking well above anywhere else in the world, and we know then that there is a closer connection to cosmic rays causing some of these cardiac arrhythmsis, failures and the deaths likewise. So huge thanks to Michael, huge thanks to all our other superstars. I believe Kendall has sent me some magnetometer data which I'll get stuck into this afternoon. There's a bit of work to do on the website as well, poleshiftnews.com, with regards to building the platform where we're going to put Michael's data from Colombia on there. Okay, so I thought I'd bring that to your attention anyhow. If you are interested in helping support us at the observatory, there's a link down there in the description. It's not mandatory, but without it, we can't carry on doing what we're doing. I think you realise the importance of funding this observatory at this point in time with all what's going on. It would be a shame to get where we are right now and stop, when we're that close possibly to seeing things progress a lot more. So there's a link down there in the description. The only other thing I want to say to you is, think about some of the things that we put in the video and the impacts that it has on the amount of people that it does. The other day, 33 million people impacted in Pakistan by floods. We know what caused those floods. It was a little bit more than the average monsoon season that was taking place there. We've seen this repeated all over the world, just like the data that we're looking at right here with regards to the excess mortality, death rates creeping up in a short period of time. We have to keep our eyes on these things, because we're not hearing about this in mainstream media, and very likely because they don't want us to know. So, I do hope that you decide to support us. Yeah. And the only other thing I want to say is, you take care of your loved ones. Protect them as best you can. Do what you can with what it means you've got. And, other than that, I'll say what I usually do. Bye for now.